Morning, Carrie.
Good morning.
I'm Teresa Parker. I'm the broker for 775 Realty here in Pahrump, Nevada.
I'm Carrie Nye. I'm an agent here at 775 Realty.
This is our roundup.
Real estate roundup. Headed into March.
That's right. You missed us for a couple of weeks. We were actually trying to invest in lighting and a better camera and all that good stuff and microphones so you guys could hear us. So this is what we want to do, guys. We're going to try each month to put out some form of a newsletter that we would email to you, but actually go over it verbally in our office and tell you about some of the events that are happening in our town.
Yep, we've got a few things going on. The weather's going to be warming up, so it's time to get out and enjoy the beautiful desert weather. The big one that we really want to talk about is our Spring Fling pop-up that we're going to be hosting here at 775 Realty. It's on March 16th from 9 to 4. Lovely people that we're going to have here for it. Great things to shop for and maybe a few surprises. So make sure you're checking in with the Facebook pages and Instagram to make sure you're seeing everything that's going to get added.
Oh, and speaking of social media, if you like our video or have any questions for us, Carrie or myself, just go ahead and drop a comment down below, or please subscribe and like this, and we really do appreciate all your support.
You can definitely keep track. We try to share all the events that are going on. Even if we didn't get to it in this one, something comes up, we'll throw it on there so people always know something to do. There is going to be some paint and sip nights at Artesian with the wonderful Art from the Heart Ashley Welch on the 7th and 21st. Those are fun. We haven't been to one in a little bit. Oh, it's so fun.
I had to paint and I didn't do so well. In fact, I don't even think it made it home with me.
Yeah, well, Ashley does a really good job at making sure you're comfortable and understanding how to do it. Hers look fantastic, but it's always fun to try, and a little bit of wine doesn't help.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny, I'm sure there's going to be quite a few things with the Easter Bunny, but one that I do know of now is the Second Amendment on the 3rd. They're going to have the Easter Bunny along with their craft stuff that they do there.
Hey, where's this?
Second Amendment. It's on Basin.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Subscribe and ask for our newsletter, and we'll have more details about more things that are going on around town, but we will start seeing some tourists coming out this way because they end up stopping at Albertsons, get their coffee and their groceries, and then they head out to Death Valley to look at all the flowers that are blooming, and there's a lot to do out there too. So we have a special guest today. We want to introduce Jaymie from Guild Mortgage. She's going to come in and talk a little bit about the real estate market and mortgages with her home loan. So tell us a little bit of what your predictions or what you're hearing or thinking is going to take place because of the elections, and it's 2024.
New year, new market. So I think right now, everybody who's been thinking about buying and wondering if they should and been on the fence, I think right now is a really great time to buy. This is an election year. Historically, on the election year, you guys know what interest rates do? They go down. How about what does home pricing do when interest rates decrease? They go up. So right now, it's such a valuable time to purchase. Interest rates took a big decrease back in December. They've stabilized since then. But right now, if we can get people into houses before those interest rates drop, as the election really heats up and as the weather heats up, we're going to see the pricing be more favorable now versus then. Then what do we do to get you the lower monthly payment? We refinance.
And that's a perfect question for you, Jaymie, because we're hearing that some of the lenders out there, that because it's a higher rate right now, if you come back, they'll actually refinance. I don't want to use this word lightly, free. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Free is always the fancy word on it. So right now at Guild Mortgage, what we're doing, if you purchase your home, we'll do a refinance for you before the end of 2025 with no lender fees. Why aren't we using the word free? Well, because there's title companies involved, there's the county involved, there's appraisals involved, there's things like that we can't speak for what somebody else is willing to give you, but Guild is willing to, if you close on your house this year before June, that we're able to do that refinance for you before the end of 2025 with no lender fees. It saves 50% right off the top.
Awesome, and you're beating the market before all the other buyers flood in, and we're getting into multiples again.
Exactly. And what happens during multiples? It's above appraised value. It's cash out of pocket.
No. It's not a fun market. But let me ask you a question, because I have a little bit of mortgage experience, but some out there don't, such as my father. He would not even understand. We called it an estimated HUD, but now we call them a CD.
Closing disclosure or a loan estimate, depending where we're at in the process.
And so for those that don't know what that means, Jaymie, when do you see a closing disclosure for a buyer to look at, and why are they looking at it?
Okay, great question. So closing disclosure, you're going to see right at the close to the end of the process, probably within 10 days of closing. The closing disclosure must be signed 3 days prior to you signing your loan documents. Now, if things are running behind and we don't have that closing disclosure or that CD out, we can't fast forward it. We have to have it out as lenders. It's a legal requirement. So that's how come you're going to hear from either myself or whatever lender that you're working with. Make sure you sign your CD today when it comes out. I'm happy to go over it with you. And we want to get this signed to start our 3-day wait period.
So that's very similar to the right of rescission in regards to a refinance, correct? Because those are 3 days of a waiting period to make sure that you're still comfortable with refinancing at this rate and these terms. Now, putting you on the spot, but do we know why we started doing that 3 days closing disclosure?
Yes, so that way you're not getting surprised with fees the day before. If you thought at closing, we'll say that you had to bring in $10,000 and then all of a sudden you're at the closing table, you have to bring in $15,000. That's not the kind of surprise that anybody likes. So now you have 3 days after you've received it, and by signing it, you're acknowledging that you received your closing disclosure. You have 3 days to look at those fees and make sure that they are accurate to your file. There's no surprises on there. And then you can talk about it with your loan officer and your agent to say, okay, what is this fee? How come I have to pay that?
Right.
And they should be able to answer what every fee is on there.
I hope that helps, because I know there was some confusion and some people don't understand the difference between what we were doing prior to the crash versus what we've put in place now, so that you do have those 3 days to take a look at your docs, make sure that interest rate's correct, that down payment's correct, that mortgage payment's correct. It's just information that would help a buyer understand things better, and Jaymie's amazing at explaining that type of information. So we will make sure that we put her business card up and her phone number, so if you want to reach out to Jaymie, she'd greatly appreciate it.
As we're going into the March Madness season, there's so many programs out there. And definitely what I'm hearing this year is that buyers, everyone's having a hard time saving down payment, and that's okay. We have a lot of programs that are available right now. I know Guild Mortgage currently has 13 available programs that can help with your down payment and closing costs and get you out of that rental and into your own home much faster.
And we can help you with that too. By all means, Carrie and I could definitely answer any questions you have or help you get pre-qualified. Here's a question that people ask me. Well, I want to start looking at homes. Okay, well, what's the price that you're looking for? And they're like, well, I don't know. Let's go between $300,000 to $400,000, without actually thinking about what their mortgage payment's going to be. That's kind of where we need to back into this. You know, we could be up at the $400,000 and be at a $2,800 mortgage payment. And they're thinking, no, I don't want to spend more than $1,600. Well, that's kind of why we need to have you sit down with a mortgage lender first, so that we're not out shopping for properties and you're getting all excited about buying this particular home for $410,000, and then you realize, well, I can't afford that. I don't have that type of down payment. But when living in Pahrump, Nevada, coming from Southern California myself, Nevada has USDA loans. They have rural types, because this is a rural community. They have different types of financing that's available. And again, Jaymie's very familiar with it, talented in it, and I highly recommend her.
Let's go look at homes.
As you guys remember, Carrie was building her own home, putting a manufactured home on her property. And I believe you are almost wrapping that up, aren't you?
Hopefully on the next one, we'll be a little more wrapped up.
I tried not to approach that subject too much, but she kind of opened herself up today for that.
Well, I did find a wonderful carport. It was literally a sign that appeared across our thing. So if you need any information, I know a lot of people, when I went to the bank the other day, the lady was talking, a lot of people are getting payments for carports or garages built. We love our still garages out here. So feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to give that information.
Well, a little elaboration on that. Carrie was having a dilemma with a building company that she was using. I think it was out of state, correct?
Yeah.
So one day Carrie goes outside and she sees a new billboard across the street.
And I drove right past the office because I was staring at
that was a sign.
Carrie. A literal sign showed up.
She's like, did you see? Did you see? And I'm like, what am I seeing? She's like, my sign. All right, that's enough for now. I'm Teresa Parker, the broker for 775 Realty at 1941 South Highway 160 in Pahrump. And we'll share our information and our phone number for you down below. And again, please, if you liked our video, please subscribe, thumbs up, and we'd love to hear back from you guys.
Follow us on all platforms. Thank you.
Have a wonderful week. Happy
Bye.
spring.